It's crazy to think that people used to do this just for transportation purposes. Oh, my knees are burning, man.
Welcome at another day, another hike. This time we're gonna follow an ancient trail of Maui.
That is where we are going right now. We're gonna go on another ridge trail. And I'm gonna see it at the sunset this time. So I'm excited about one of those last trails. So let's do it. I have been seeing this the whole time from the house that I'm staying, because you see this side of the mountain, as you can call it, or the ridge from back up where I'm staying. So it has been looking at me the entire time, and now we're finally gonna do it. So let's park the car and get started. So here we are at the start of the Lahaina Pali trail. This is a ridge trail. It's very barren compared to the other side of the island, which is basically everywhere like this on this side of the island. And here we have a little marker. So it gives you some general information again. It's very useful. So the overall length is 7.8 kilometers, but I'm not going to do that because the sort of problem, as you can call it, of this trail is that this goes over the ridge to the other side, and then you finish on the other side, but there's not the circling back. You have to, if you want to get back, you have to go the same way all the way back again. So unless you are with multiple people, multiple cars, somebody can park the car on the other side, and then you can start from one side and then continue for the car and come back or something. But unless you want to do the trail twice, so go over at the end and then go back again, for me it would be just fine to just go to the top and then go the same way back down again, because my car is here and not on the other side. So you have to keep that in mind, that it is not a round trip, it is a one-way trip. Next to that, the elevation, it is around 429 meters. So I guess we're just gonna get started. Right, so this explains basically that this is an actual route that people took back in the day. So now obviously there is a road that has been hacked away along the coastline. They opened it up by just literally hacking through the rocks. They built a tunnel and everything, so it's now available for traffic to get to the other side. But before, obviously, that was not the case. So they needed to traverse this sort of mountain range to get to the other side of where Lahaina is and the other towns. This was an official route, so it's a historical route with archaeological sites. And it's called the zigzaggiest road because it will zigzag up the road. And it has been documented in that way by many travelers. And it's very popular also for horses, but it's very dangerous because, yeah, they tend to break a leg sometimes because it's such a rocky terrain. So now it's mostly, of course, a tourist attraction hike. And yeah, along the way you could even find petroglyphs or archaeological locations of where they had like a stopover or some rest. Good to notice is that there is sun everywhere, obviously, and it's completely dry. So first things first, you know, be aware of fire hazards. Don't throw away any cigarette butts or anything that can cause a fire. You know, the general, don't make fires, barbecues or something, obviously. Common sense, but sometimes common sense is not there with some people. Secondly, also one of the reasons why I did this at the very last of my travel is because this is very exposed. So be aware of taking sunscreen with you, something protective, because you're going to be completely exposed to the sun the entire time. There's nothing to hide behind, there's nothing to cover you from the sun. Also, in case I just took a jacket, because I don't know what is going to be on top of this ridge. It's almost sunset, so maybe it's going to drastically change. Maybe it's going to suddenly rain or be very windy. So it's better to just be sure about what you're doing. It's a good climb. You start immediately with the ascent. It's good for the lungs. Very nice. And I'm wearing my long sleeve shirt and pants because, well, first of all, today it's very windy this morning. Didn't really know what to expect from the weather. It's like, you know, half weather, where it's maybe just a bit too cold or just warm enough. Secondly, because like I said before, this is a very exposed trail. So my skin obviously is a bit different than the average skin. So instead of having to apply sunscreen everywhere, I just wear long sleeves instead. So as you can see, I put on a jacket anyway, because the wind is getting quite strong here, and it's definitely a colder wind, colder breeze than down below. I guess you understand why it's called the zigzag road, right? But yeah, we're getting there. We're getting close. We're almost there, almost there. Then it's time for a break. Enjoy the sunset from up top. And then we go down back down again, which is always going to be easier. I found some interesting plant here with, it looks like beans, or basically like green beans. Look at this. No, they're also spiky. Wow. No, it's not like the previous one with the leaves that when you touch them they sort of shrink, they collapse into each other sort of. But those are really thick beans. I wonder if it's family of the green beans that we have, or it's completely something else, and if you touch them you're dying or something, who knows, I don't know. But they also have some thorns. That's quite interesting. It's so dry, even though it rained this week. I don't know how much it rained specifically here, because everywhere on the island it is different. That's why this island is so interesting, because it's so versatile with the climate, that the south side is so dry and the north side is mainly jungle-like. So there it's most of the time raining. So you can imagine that in the, well, maybe it's raining there, cats and dogs and stuff. Maybe here barely a drop, you know. That's how interesting it can be, or how strange it can be sometimes. Well, we have to go here. out of the wind now for the first time. What a difference. What a difference. Wow. Just hear the rustling of the, I don't even know what it is, like the sort of tall grass. If you look very closely, you can see it move like in the way with the wave sort of. It's like wavy. This always reminds me of the movie Gladiator. Whoever has seen Gladiator with what's his name again? I sound like my dad now. Russell Crowe. Whoever saw that movie knows the ending of the movie is where he, you know, goes with his hand through the grain field sort of, while the wind blows through the fields, and you have these waves. And every time I see something like this, it reminds me of that movie. It's peaceful in one sense. We are back in the sun, back in the wind. Okay, I know where I have to go. I see somebody else on the horizon. There's a person there. That means I have to go over this ridge to the other ridge again. Somewhere there is the top. Somewhere there. It's kind of hard to judge where the top actually is. Ironically, you should think, well, you know, the top is the top. But if you're on those ridges, you can't see beyond the ridge to know if it actually goes there, if it's there or not. So yeah, sometimes you're fooled a bit, like, oh, I'm almost there, and then, nope, you're not even close. But that's the fun of it, right? If you always know where you're going, then there's no surprise anymore. Life is all about surprises, right? Okay, I think we're really near the top now, because the windmills are coming inside. They are all across this ridge. So, I guess just a little bit more before it starts descending again, which means we should be at the top, and the other part is just going down to the other side. So that will be my stopping point and turning around point. Nope, one more ridge line to go. That must be the last one, because I assume that those windmills are on the highest point. So, well, I'm there almost, so, you know, just finish this. Having the sun in our face means that we are on top of this ridge. This must be the highest point. I see some information plaques around here, so I'm gonna read those. And yeah, this is the top probably. So finally made it. Now let's just enjoy the view for a bit, and yeah, take it all in, take it all in. This is the other side. So if you keep following that road, you end up in basically Lahaina, that side of the road. It's crazy to think that people used to do this just for transportation purposes. It's definitely not something you do every day now. And back in the day it was a common thing to just need to go to the other side. It's crazy actually if you think about it. Well, beautiful sunset. It's a beautiful sunset. So let's head back. I wonder how long it's going to take me to get down. I'm guessing roughly maybe 30 minutes, I hope. You know, going downwards. Let's see, let's time it sort of. So now it's around, I think it's, what's the time actually? Wait a second. 5:30. So maybe I'm down at 6, so it will be almost completely dark at 6 o'clock, so hopefully I make it on time. Well, let's see. It's funny how from this point you can see everywhere I've been more or less on that side of the island. So you can see where my house is, more or less. It's more or less there. I have been up the mountain there. The shiny bits up there are the telescopes. And I have been to this entire coastline, of course, all the way there. Then at the very end we have this little, well, bulge. I have also been there into those beaches. Then across from that bulge is the there we have that lava field that I crossed with the last eruption basically. And of course on that side we have Kaului, and that's sort of the main city, and the beaches on that side. So yeah, basically that area over there. So it's so funny, especially from a Dutch perspective, I guess, to be able to see where you're coming from, literally. So you can see your house the whole time, kind of, and where you have been in general on this entire place or island. Like in the Netherlands, it's never possible to see those things unless you are some kind of skyscraper or tower or something. But it's just so interesting. You can see almost the entire island always. It's so beautiful, and it always feels like everything is nearby in a certain sense. It's amazing. The calm around here. It's really very calming and very enjoyable. Well, as you can see, it's getting dark, so I'm on my way down. You can see the entire path from here where I have to go. It's a long way down. So, but it's nice that you can at least see where you're going, right? When you're going up, it's a bit harder to understand where the actual end is gonna be. But yeah, watch out for loose stones and loose sand and gravel here. It's definitely sometimes very slippery. As always, breaking an ankle on such a trail, it's gonna be a very long way down. And there's no help here. There's cell service, that's a good thing. There's cell service, but still, I would try to avoid this. From here you can clearly see the last bit that I have to do. Just down this ridge. And then there is the car, more or less. Yeah, where those white things are. It's pretty hard to see, but Yeah, so almost there, just down this ridge and then into the car, and then it's time for some dinner. Time to get home. I'm almost done. This is the last stretch down. I mean, okay, I have the light, so it's okay for me. But my god, my knees are killing me. Oh my god, like all those stones and rocks everywhere that you have to avoid, and oh, my knees are burning, man. Oh, bloody hell. But okay, turned into a little bit of a night hike, but just for the last bit. So this light is very strong, as you can see, and it has even a cover on it now. If I remove the cover, I will blind myself, but just to show you the difference. Wow. And I can even do it a little bit lighter, look. Ay, ay, ay. Woohoo! Wow. So, yeah, it's a good light. So let's follow the road. Let's get going. Well, I'm back in the car finally. Jesus. For some reason this descent just felt like a never-ending ordeal for some reason. I don't know, it just felt like it was never ending. Oh, jeepers. Well, we're back in the car. And I didn't break anything, so that's good. Now it's time to get back home to the pets and yeah, get some grub, eat something finally. So this was definitely to conclude for this one. It is a nice one, slightly difficult the way up, and yeah, like I said before, remember the sun, the exposure, take a jacket because of the wind, and going back down, it's quite something for your knees and also ankles, but I feel my knees pretty much at the moment. It's wow, they're pretty on fire at the moment, so yeah, because of all the loose rocks and everything. Anyway, let's get back.
And with that we have finished another hike. Let me know in the comments what you think of this hike. Have you done it? Would you do it? Thank you for watching and see you next time.